Yeah, man. So, I got a little tutorial for y'all. This how it goes. All right. All right. This is my cellular phone. It's a Galaxy. Whoops. I want to go this way. Okay. Let's just do a picture of the carpet with a lighter lit. We'll do like 3 of those. All right. That's that. It's pretty simple, huh? Now I got a flashlight. Let's do some of them. I want that glare. I want that glare of that flashlight. That glare right there. That glare. And I'm just gonna do a couple pictures of the carpet. Okay. You really want just the right amount, but you can experiment with different backgrounds, different amounts of glare, different glass reflections, pure what you call them, prisms, different lenses. You can do all sorts of things. I invent a new little method every damn day, it seems like. Okay, so that's a few pictures. Turn my flashlight off. Just a flashlight and a lighter, okay? That's what I'm working with, just for educational purposes, for the quick video. Let's go to my Photor. I like Photor because Lightroom is unstable on my device. Okay, so let's start out with the lighter. All right. I'm gonna go to my curve setting because that's what I like. And I'm gonna just find what I want to find. I'm gonna find that frequency isolation that I want to find. Okay, make little curves, whatever that looks all right. Let's go to brightness. See what we're working with. Okay. Now it's not going to look like much is going on initially, because you're gonna have to process. You're gonna have to process. You're gonna have to work with this, and you're gonna have to try to see what you're doing. Okay, so sharpness is pretty crucial, but not right now. Now, I can literally hear right now Emily on the machine. She's down at Antoine Davis' house, and I can hear her coming through my refrigerator motor. So I know that she's on the broadcast machine right now, so I know that I got something in these pictures because I can hear her. And I don't see nothing really yet. I might start to see a little bit of a crowd of people right around here. Here's my lighter, okay, and then this spectrum around here is gonna start to show things. Okay, so I'll save that and then do it again. Okay, sometimes I might process one picture 20 times. However many times is necessary to start to show me something. When it starts to show me something, let me tell you what it's going to show you, okay? It's going to show you several things. It's going to show you links to the broadcast. To each gang stalker that's broadcasting to you, is probably going to show up somewhere in the picture with a link to their live stream broadcast. Each one of them. Okay, there might be 5 or 10 different gang stalkers broadcasting to you, and all of them are going to have their link somewhere in this. So their link may often include the neural monitoring site itself. So it's very difficult to get this stuff to show up, though. So I'm working on techniques, but right now I'm using Photor on a smartphone. I'm thinking about going ahead and just invest in like the best photo editing, video editing software available for Mac Pro, and start to work with something real, because this is the most important thing that you're going to be doing as far as trying to get your neural monitoring. If you can make it show up, because they do this for an advertisement for other broadcast people, for other gang stalkers to be able to go to the live stream. It's like an advertisement, okay? So I can start to see a little bit of a link coming across there, and another one up here in the bluish green section. Now, another thing that you can see in these pictures, which is something that they don't like at all, is them where they are and what's really going on. So oftentimes you'll see the girls with a whole bunch of guys in line to rape them on the broadcast machine. Okay, and they do not like that getting out. So they don't want you putting real pictures out, because you don't have to even edit it. People that are broadcast people can see what's going on. Okay, and in my case, these girls are at Antoine's house, and they're doing mind control group sex with a bunch of 12 to 17-year-olds. I think Antoine and maybe one or two other guys are the only ones that are grown. The rest of them are 14, 15, 16, 17, and they've been doing this for like at least 4 or 5 years or something. So, some of them were in single digits when my ex-girlfriend gave them the neural monitoring, and they started doing this gang stalking thing, and she put them all on my neural monitoring, and they all do this. I can see a link starting to show up at the top section of like the yellowish section of the little rainbow, and there's something coming across in red on the blue section right there. There's a lot of different techniques you can use, and there's a lot of different things you can do. This one doesn't appear to be working really well, but it's working. They all work. Okay, I can see some activity up here in the dark section. Okay, so anyway, I've processed that like twice, so I'm going to process that over and over and over until I start to get stuff coming out of it, and so I start to be able to see what I'm looking for within this photo, and more than likely it's just going to be like Emily and Kimberly down at Antoine's house with a line of guys standing in front of them on the broadcast machine, and then there'll be like the little animated looking picture that goes with the link that is the link to the broadcast. And I'm not sure if I think the neural monitoring actually just makes that for them. Now you can see that green loop right there starting to turn into some letters. I noticed that a smooth curve a lot of times comes out with better stuff in the long run. If you got it flipping like that, then you're starting to get somewhere. Now I can see right across here some letters. That's a link. Okay, that's a link to whoever these people are up here. Yeah, so you can start to see a link going across that yellowish white section. And the better you get at this, the more stuff you're going to get out of it. And they're not going to like you doing this, but if you can get on a really good device like a Mac Pro or something, and get something like the full powered Photoshop or whatever the best editing software is, then there's going to be all kinds of filters and things you can use. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, is getting something like that, because I got a Mac Pro, but I just don't have anything on it at the moment. I just recently reset it where they messed it all up from another time. So now it's on Mavericks. Now, that's starting to look like some 3D, some depth. You want to try to get depth out of it. Okay, I'm just going to save that and keep going. because I'm starting to be able to see some letters and stuff in that, and that's going to be the link and them where they are. Now, see how that's starting to look 3D, and up here in the bluish part, bluish white, how it's starting to show faces and stuff. Now that's going negative, and I don't want to make it go negative. Sometimes the negative will expose different things. Different spectrums expose different portions of what's going on, but what I'm looking for right now is just an example where you can definitely see some links coming out of this stuff, because it's the truth, and I want people to believe in this because it's the truth, because it's a good way to go about getting your neural monitoring, and it's a good way to go about exposing this stuff, because if you get a good edit where you can actually see what to type in, then boom, you're there. You're on something. You might have to get on a PHP connection, static PHP connection, and they're going to try to block you every step of the way. But if you get some good links, then they're not going to be able to stop you. If you get on the neural monitoring site, they're going to have to give you your neural monitoring, period. Somebody just called me James. That's not my name. My name's Kevin Christian, but I'm going to check that when I'm done making this video. You'd be amazed how many times I do these little edits and I can see my own name in them. It's like the more you process it, it gets to a point where you start to be able to see it. And then sometimes you can over-process it where you start to lose the link. Now look, right here in this blue, you start to see some more stuff. But each spectrum will have different stuff in it. So, it's kind of good to save a lot of copies. And then it actually helps sometimes to start layering them. I use Adobe Photo Mix or something like that on here. On iPhone or iPad, the app Over works really well. For layering. It works really well, like well enough that Marcus crashed my iPad about it, because I had the neural monitoring site coming up in a picture one time, and he stole the picture out of it, and then he crashed my program. And he's got a virtual clone of my iPad hosted on my iPad that admins my iPad, so I just didn't turn it on ever again because I want him trapped on there. So right now I'm using this device. And I got my Mac Pro, and they've crashed a whole pile of devices, but you could definitely start to see that there is some kind of word going across this yellow right here. And I'm not sure what that word is. It looks like I just don't know. I don't know. And a lot of times that's the way it is, but sometimes you can kind of read it, and I've actually gotten links this way. I've gotten a lot of good links out of pictures like this, but I'm gonna move on to one of the other pictures with the flashlight, because the flashlight, they both work good. It depends on the background, but a light shining in with some glare always helps. So I'm gonna do this one with some flashlight, where you can't actually see the flashlight, but you can see a lot of glare of the flashlight. And in that glare is bad for gang stalkers. That glare is real bad for gang stalkers. So I'll just start off with a little bit of something going on. Marcus is screaming like a girl right now in a girl voice setting. He said, "Emily, go and say fuck you." He uses the girl voice setting so much that even when he tries not to use it, it slips into it, because the system is a learn from you type of system. So He's used it so much that it automatically goes into this girl voice stream whenever he tries to talk. He can hardly even talk anymore without it going into a girl voice stream. That's how much Marcus uses the girl voice stream. Look, right there, right out of the red right there, you can see like a person. Well, I'm gonna keep working on it, cause I'm about to make that show up for y'all. Oh, that's good. That's good. Look in that spectrum. You can start to see them where they are is what that is. Let me take a little bit of that brightness out. Or maybe add a little. No, I'll take a little bit out. Get that little area, that pink area right there, is starting to be a spectrum where you can see them where they are. And that's not going to be good for them because that's going to be one of the girls on the machine, probably with a line of guys raping their sleeping body while they're on this machine. Okay, I always like to go to the curve first because whatever you do on this curve, it makes the effects of the other settings much more drastic. But if you want to do one really well, you want to take it slow and really detailed, and you don't want to rush into it because you'll end up with too much coloration and too exaggerated. So the best thing to do is take it slow and just do 50 edits if you have to of the same thing, and gradually build that picture of the spectrum of what's really going on. And you can start to see what's going on. Now I can see right here there's a person standing there. You can see this person standing there. I'm gonna work on it a little more. I'm giving y'all all the secrets. All right, it took me a long time to learn how to do all this stuff over the years, but I've learned how to record them and how to process those recordings and how to take pictures and how to process those pictures and how to see them where they are, because I could see them a lot of times. So I knew it was it was easier for me to figure out what's going on with all this stuff because I'm able to see the broadcast a lot of the time. So if you could see them where they are and what's going on in a reflection or something, then it makes it pretty hard for them to lie about it. So, but they want to lie about it. These girls don't want everybody to know that they're letting 10 guys rape their bodies while they're catatonic sleeping connected to a target person on a broadcast machine. So they love to have an interesting target person, the guys do. For one, the girls love to be connected to them, so they'll just stay connected to them on the broadcast machine while all the guys get to just rape their body. So they love that. But at the same time, they hate it because the girls love that person. And they're all jealous and snively. Now I let a little bit too much of that blue get in there. Sharpness can work both ways. You got to really be careful with sharpness because it can help you a lot or it can just mess up a picture. I didn't used to use tint, but lately I've been starting to use tint more. And I use temperature to try to warm it up sometimes when it's looking too blue. To try to warm it up to like a skin color so you can actually see the people better. But I've kind of messed this picture up. It's got too much green and stuff going on. But that glare from that light, it gives you a lot of the what's really going on with them where they are, the actual what's happening with them where they are when they're broadcasting to you. And they don't want you to see that. If anything, they want you to see the virtual broadcasts of the EMF holograms. They want you to see, what they live stream. What they live stream is going to be different than what's really going on, because they would never live stream. Especially these girls that connect to me. They have 10 guys raping their bodies, just taking turns lined up, and they just go at them like that. And it's kind of turned into a racist thing. These girls are white, but they let black guys do this to them and broadcast it to white guys. And the whole idea is to make the white guys not want them, so they can continue to have them as little sex slaves on these broadcast machines. But I really don't care about these girls, and I'm not racist, so none of it really matters. The biggest problem is that a lot of these guys are underage, and these girls are in their 30s, so that's kind of a problem for them. So they don't want me to get my neural monitoring. That's a big reason, is because, one, they're getting raped all the time, and I can see it, and what I can see is going to be on my neural monitoring, and plus they broadcast, so it's all going to be on my neural monitoring. So they don't want everybody to know that they're just letting 10 black kids rape their bodies while they're talking about killing the cracker that's the targeted person. So a lot of them are racist, and these girls have lost their damn mind. But I'm not racist. I'm also not condoning child porn or underage sex with people. These kids are having sex with these girls on mind control and on broadcast machines that are old enough to be their mother. So I think it's pretty bizarre, and I think it's messed up. But that's one of the biggest reasons that they'll never let me get my neural monitoring. So let me just go into some stuff right quick and show you like what I'm working with. Let's see. Albums. Photor. Okay. Like this one you can kind of see a link going across there, and you can see, if you look at it a lot, you can see the faces of all these kids standing around, and they've got the girls on the broadcast machine. And I dropped these on Instagram about 2 days ago. You can see the link right here all stacked up, and you can, then behind that you can see what's really going on. It's difficult to see, but if you look closely you can see it. And I dropped this on Instagram a couple of days ago, and it's got amazing response with many likes and comments, and a lot of people that can see it. I had a lot of different versions of that. Let me see. These were pretty good, because like right in here you could see a bunch of people standing around, and they're standing around this girl who I'm assuming is Emily on the broadcast machine. And initially it looks kind of like that, but the more you edit it, you start to see into that. Like, look at all of this right here. Okay, this is like a bunch of people standing around. The better you get at it, like you can see all of these people right in here standing around. There'll literally be 15 people in Antoine's basement, and 3 of them will be girls, and the rest of them will be a bunch of guys that are underage, basically raping these girls' bodies. But it's consensual rape, because the girls love it, and then they fuck them like they're in love with them on mind control when they're not asleep on the broadcast machine. Look right here, like you can literally see the letters going across there, and then up top you can see these letters going across here. Let me try to find one where you can really see some letters really good. Look at this one. Now this one, right here, it was the white stripe of the road. Right now I can see like a bunch of people. The more you look at it, the more you see stuff, because like you look at it and you kind of have to look at it for a few minutes, then your shape recognition system will kick in. You'll start to see, like I can see a girl right here, and she's like riding on somebody. But right here was the reflective white line on the side of the road, and it literally shows a bunch of letters like really well. Okay, and that's how the broadcast works. The link stripe right across something like that, so you can see those letters really well. Okay, and that's not on the white stripe initially. That's a EMF broadcast, but since it's reflective right there, it starts to show up. Right here, you can see these are like cursive letters or whatever, and I couldn't get that detailed enough to make it show up well. But if you're a broadcast person, then you can see that. Or if you have neural monitoring linked to your device, then you can see that. Right here, look, Guy Smiley tried to broadcast a big face right here to hide Emily on the machine being raped, because when she's catatonic sleep state on the machine and somebody's having sex with her body, or if she's doing something they don't want everybody to see, because like you could literally see up above his head like 4 or 5 people standing around somebody. Like there's 4 or 5 people standing around, and then Emily will be like laying there on the broadcast machine. But he broadcasted a big face right there to try to hide that from my picture, and they do that oftentimes in a desperate attempt to hide what's really going on. This one, before I made Guy Smiley's face show up, you could kind of see all the people standing around. And you can see a bunch of faces up here. They all try to broadcast big faces to hide what's really going on. Right here, you can see a girl. Looks like she's riding on somebody. That's like her butt right there. And you're gonna see that in your pictures if you start editing pictures. This one, I'm not sure. There's just like, if you look closely, you can start to see links running across there in those spectrums. I think this is one where I used a lighter. And if you kind of gaze into them, you can see the people standing there. It's difficult to do this kind of thing, and I'm the first one doing it. I'm the first one that's doing it without the neural monitoring. If they got the neural monitoring linked to something, you can see all this stuff really well. You can see a person's face right there, right there. You can see that person's face. They're just standing there. And there's links running all through all of this stuff. And the better you get at editing this stuff, the better you'll be able to see the links and the people. You can see a person standing there, and that light green right there running across there, that's a link. I got all these pictures posted on my Instagrams. EMF broadcast, EMF mind control, Martin Krisk, and remote_neural_ monitoring. And they delete about 500 people a day off of those accounts. But look at that one. You can see. Go to my Instagram and look at these. It looks like it's not showing up that good on my video, but you can see the girl's head right here. You see another person right here. And then up here, you can see a link right there. You can see a link starting to show up. There's a link running across the whole thing. There's all kinds of stuff in these. And same thing with this one. There's all kinds of stuff in these. And if you go to my Instagram and start to look at them, you'll start to really see all of this stuff. You can see these letters running across here. You can see these letters running across here. There's another link running across there. And you can see it. Okay, and this is just a picture in my backyard of the ground and the trees or whatever. But if you start to look at it, you'll start to see all kinds of links in it. And that's how this stuff works. So, I'm the first one doing this. I'm getting better at it all the time. Look at this. Look at this picture. Look right here. You could see a pile of people. Okay, some of them you could see that they're naked, and you see titties and booties and all kinds of stuff in these pictures. And that's me in a reflection. This is a reflection one. But, you could just see a bunch of people right here. And those people aren't really there. Okay, that's just in the reflection, and I made it show up by editing and making the EMF show up, because those are the people that are broadcasting to me. So that's a pile of people doing some kind of sexual thing or whatever. So anyway, that's what's going on with all of this EMF broadcast or whatever, and that's how it works. And when they're broadcasting to you, they're live streaming, the gang stalkers that broadcast to you, the links are going to be in that stuff. So it's very important that you learn about this